Hey Sainers, Happy New Year, welcome to 2022 and welcome to the first Saints TV YouTube video for the year. It's been a crazy first week of 2022 and I thought, I'll take some time today just to think about what I want from St Kilda in 2022. So the most basic, thing we all want is a premiership, but there's more to it than that we want to see. So I just thought on top of my New Year goals post that I did on the 1st of January, just outlining kind of what I think we should look to achieve this year. I just wanted to do a video and just talk about what I want to see at the footy this year from St Kilda. The first one straight off the bat is footy at Marvel. So no more matches being moved, no more lockdown crap. I want to get to Marvel as many times as we can, 11, 12 times, whatever the fixture allows. And I want us to fill Marvel. I want Marvel to become a fortress. So that is one of the big things for me this year, is that recently we've been pretty good away from home. We've been pretty good at bigger grounds, but we haven't really done a lot of wonderful things at Marvel Stadium. And for one reason or another, whether it's too small or just because of COVID and everything, we haven't played there as much as we would have liked. It's just not been a favourable hunting ground for us. So we need to go back to 04, 05, 9, 10, those years where when teams came to play us there, they struggled. So this year, that's a big focus from me and hopefully a big focus from the club, is when we have a home game at Marvel Stadium, we make sure that the opposition know that they're in for a long day. The other one is, just a bit of a goal just because I love the guy and I think we all love him and we all think he's going to be a superstar. But Max King, I want to see him win the Coleman. Stuff that. He's not going to go top 3, top 4. We want to go the big goals today. So Coleman medal, I think based on last year, I think he kicked 36, 38 goals. He had a slow start to the season, missed a lot of chances, had a lot of chances, but didn't take them. Second part of the year he did. If he does that for a full season in 2022, with our midfield hopefully playing better, getting players back, his confidence getting better, he's in his third real season now of AFL football. This is where he can start shining. I think there's no reason why Max King can't at least aim for 50 goals, and any more than that and you're a chance at the Coleman. The Coleman medalists these days are getting 60, 65 goals, not much more than that. He could easily get 50 this year. So Max King, I reckon he can go for the Coleman and he can get 50 goals. That would be amazing. Another one that's kind of player focused, Jack Steele, continuing on his form. He's done it for the last 2 years. He's been a great player overall, but it's really been the last 2 years where he's been at that elite level and in that Brownlow calculations level. And I think he's going to do it again this year. And I want him to do it again this year and hopefully get a bit more recognition from people outside of the football club. Even at the Brownlow medal, he was robbed a few points there and that would have put him a bit higher on the count. I'm not saying he's going to win the Brownlow this year, but I'd love to see him poll really well again and hopefully get close to winning. And then obviously if that happens, he will then win the Trevor Barker medal for a third year running, which I think a lot of us would probably tip him doing again this year. Another one that I want to see is Jack Billings. I want him to hit the scoreboard more. I want JB to focus more on kicking goals and not so much possessions. Go back to 2017 when he had a lot of scoreboard pressure, a lot of shots on goal, and that was really his primary focus. So I think we need to simplify JB's game and hopefully get him kicking more goals. So that's another one for me. JB to kick more goals and become one of our most important small forwards in 2022. Now this one's a club-focused one. Don't give up big margins. Now, I think I did that last year, and we obviously didn't meet it because we coughed up Adelaide being the main one. But just not choking in big games. The games that need to be won. The Carlton game this year, we choked. The Sydney game when we had a lot of shots in Sydney, we choked. The Geelong game where we started like a house on fire. Pretty much both times, and we lost. We choked. I just want us to play good footy all year. I know that's too much to ask, and obviously there's going to be some ups and downs. Every team, even Melbourne, even the Dogs, they made grand finals. They had an up and down game here and there. But for us, it's more about the patterns in games. When teams get a run on, to not let them take control. We are, in the last couple of years, one of those teams that when a team kicks 2 goals in a row, we put our heads down and we struggle. The second half of the year, not so much, but generally speaking, that's kind of how games have worked for us. Even when we're seemingly on top, quick change in momentum, we don't know how to change it back our way. So that's something that I want to see this year, is when teams get a run on, we either stop the run completely in its tracks or we can absorb it and then give it back and take over. And I think that's the sign of a team that can play finals and can win finals, is a team that can take the heat and then give the heat. Right now, I think we can give the heat pretty well. We're one of the top pressure teams. But in terms of taking the heat, still think there's a bit of room for improvement. Because we're going to need a good fixture the first part of the year. Second part of the year, it's going to be tough. So in some of those games, we're going to have our backs against the walls. We're going to have to learn to be the underdog in the game, but then to be able to take the game on enough to win it. Another thing I want to see, media. Just get off the Saints' backs. Focus on Carlton now. Carlton's got all the pressure. They got all the trades. They got all the, they're the love child of the AFL. I just don't want to read any stupid articles. Missy Higgins, Jack Higgins crap. A player misses a goal. It happens in every game for every team, but for some reason St Kilda gets highlighted. And I'm not being biased because I just focus on Saints. I focus on all AFL media. I'm very much an AFL fan, but obviously a St Kilda fan or fanatic. But just this year, we just got hit hard. And that was, some of it was our fault, and we just struggled in the first part of the year, and the pressure was on, and that's fine. Even second part of the year, we played better, but the heat was still on in terms of the media. And even already in the off-season this year, I've talked about it in a couple of videos, they're hitting us hard because we didn't pick up players, even though we had no collateral, and all we wanted to do was get some good draft picks in, get our first round in, and get our academy boys, which we did, and we achieved all of that, plus getting a defender and getting our next-gen academy boys. So we did everything we could have with what we had, but we didn't really get talked up or applauded for the work that we did, which I think deserved it. But for the media, just take it easy in 2022. Focus on the footy and not make up bullshit stories here and there just to fill your nice little columns on the Herald Sun and the Age. That'd be great. Thanks. No injuries. That's another one. No injuries. We have been hit hard the last year or two. And last year, it was pretty bad. It was the worst for the competition, in the competition. In terms of best 22, not overall, but best 22, we were missing so many players for so many games. We didn't have a ruckman for basically the first 8 or 9 weeks. We're coming up against Marlon Pickett in the ruck against Richmond. That was the ultimate low, and him winning the clearances for that game, and we just got shafted and lost by 80 points. But we just want to run. We want Gresham back. We want Patton back. We want Marshall and Ryder to play every game. We want King to not get hit by a golf ball. There's so many important players for us that just didn't get a run. And Zach Jones was one. Dan Hanbury's another one. That two very important players for our midfield. Gresham, another midfielder. We just need consistency, and you can't get consistency in your best 22 when you can't even get your best 22 on the park. So right now, it looks like everyone's pretty fit. Touch wood that it stays that way for the preseason. We've only got 2 months to go, and then it's round 1. So if we can get through this next 2 months and not have any major injuries, then that's a good sign going into the year. And that already puts us in a proactive position going into round 1, is that we can hit the ground running with our best team. Round 1 last year, we had no rucks. Paul Hunter was in the ruck with McKernan, I'm pretty sure. Max King was out with a golf ball. Ben Patton broke his leg a couple of weeks earlier in a bad tackle by Ruffy. So much went wrong. Paddy Ryder, I think, took leave as well on top of Ron Marshall's absence. There was a lot that we had to deal with early on, and we struggled to manage it in the first 10 weeks. Second half of the year, as I've mentioned, much better. First half, not so much, and I think a lot of that had to do with injuries. So for 2022, another thing I want to see, or not want to see, is a lot of injuries, and I want to see no injuries. So that didn't make any sense, but you know what I mean. I want to see Cooper Sharman play a lot of games this year. I'm super excited to see Cooper play, and I think he's going to be a really exciting player for us. And it's going to create a lot of headaches in the forward line with King, Membry, Marshall resting there, Paddy Ryder resting there. There's going to be Josh Battle, depending on if he goes there or plays back. There's going to be a lot of trouble for defenses that have to handle that sort of height and versatility, because the one thing our forward line has that a lot of others don't, it's got height. But when the ball hits the deck, Max King's good at his ground balls. Cooper Sharman's exceptional when the ball hits the deck. He's very mobile. Tim Membry's the same. Even Rowan Marshall's the same. Paddy Ryder, no exception there. All of our talls are good when the ball hits the deck. It's not sort of, take it out of the air and then they can't do anything. And they've all got a bit of speed as well. So I think our forward line, I want to see that blossom this year. I think we can kick some big scores. I think we've got a forward line with Butler, Gresham, Higgins as well as the smalls. We've got a forward line that should be able to kick winning scores every week against anyone. We've got height, we've got power, we've got speed. marking capability. We've got creativity. Our forward line doesn't need tinkering. I think that's one of our strengths, and it will be for a long time because it's still full of a lot of young players. It's a well-balanced team, so I think, yeah, we'll be okay in those departments this year. I'll end it on this one. I mean, there's so many things that I can mention, but I'm not going to go through all of them. I want you guys to go through and comment what you want to see, the top 5 things that you want to see in 2022 from St Kilda, whether it's Max King kicking a bag, just anything that you want to see. It could be even a small thing like Sinks having a 45 disposal game and 900 meters gained. It could be as specific as that if you want it. But on mine, I'll end it here. I want us to make a prelim. I don't care if we don't win the flag this year. I want to at least win a final or make the top 4, win a final, and you get to a prelim automatically. But I want us to go deep into finals. I think we've got a list that's capable. We need to get some belief back from last year, but I think we can build that pretty quickly. You've got a good first 10 or 11 weeks of the season. At the halfway mark of the 2022 season, we should be at least in the top 6, at least with the draw that we have. And then from there, if you're higher than that, the second half of the year is going to be a battle for top 4 and a lot of big games against teams around you on the ladder. So for me, I'm not going to jump the gun and go win a flag because that's a default for every team every year. But for me this year, I want us to get back into finals and I want to win a final and win it in Melbourne in front of our fans because I think that would be really special and that would kind of start creating that snowball effect of, that's a taste of finals in Melbourne in front of your fans that you've won. You want more of that? Well, keep getting better and you'll get that. You'll get it in front of a big crowd at the MCG on the last Saturday in September if you're lucky. So I'll leave it there, guys. As I said, I'm not going through everything because there's a billion things that you could go and say, well, I want to see that, I want to see that. So I'm going to leave it open to you. You comment, you tell me what you want to see most. The top 5, top 10, top 50, top 100, whatever you want to list it in the comments. And I'd love to read them later on. So thanks for watching, guys. Please comment, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. And I'll see you again on Saints TV in my next video. Take care, guys, and go you mighty Sainers.